Hi everyone, this is Raina. I just wanted to make a quick video about quitting television almost 6 years ago and what I have learned from it. And hopefully some of you will do the same and, switch off that boob tube. When I did it, it was kind of with the help of the universe because I had wanted to do it for a while and I kept putting it off and putting it off. And then I moved, and then for some strange reason, there was no way to access television. And believe me, I tried. Even though I had sworn that I was going to quit, I was still attached to it. And so the universe worked on my behalf in that regard. And I think that in the interim, being over 5 years, that it's been a total blessing. And I shudder to think about still being that person sitting there passively watching television because I used to be that person. But the reason that television is quite destructive is that it is a programming. That's why they're called programs. So whatever certain people want us to think, they are increasingly embedding it into TV shows and even movies. My partner was just commenting that he went to the movies and he said, I think the CIA is, directing all these movies, or not directing them, but, coming up with the plots because they're all designed to condition us, brainwash us. And actually, there is some movie called American Sniper, I guess, and, I wouldn't doubt that that's an example of this. They also might try to get us to believe certain um, scenarios occurring and make them seem like, hey, it's no big deal. I already saw a TV show or a movie on it, and now I'm used to the idea of it. It kind of introduces us to whatever they're going to do next, if it's a false flag or whatever. So, in addition to the programming aspect, you have to look at the commercials. And I think that these are particularly insidious because you have so many drug ads, especially during shows targeted towards older Americans like 60 Minutes and the national news. I specify Americans because I think United States and New Zealand are the only countries that even allow drug ads. And I think they are extremely potent and that people respond to these ads because I used to work in a health food store, and whenever they would have some spotlight on an herbal remedy for something like on the local news, the next day we would see an influx of people and they would cite this particular show. So obviously it works. And it wasn't even an advertisement, it was a little news report. So people are easily influenced, at least some people are. And this goes along with the passivity of allowing other people to choose what entertains you. That's how TV differs from the internet, because the internet allows you to choose what you're going to do. Of course, you can become addicted to the internet too. I'm not saying that. And you can also become susceptible to the influence of nefarious characters like shills who are paid posters who come onto various, um, you know, YouTube channels or like Yahoo News stories or any kind of news stories, and they make comments that seem like they're just regular Joe Schmo comments, but actually they're there to influence you. And one way you can tell if somebody's a shill is if they keep arguing and posting on the same channel for the same topic. Most people that are not shills are going to just say their comment and leave. Sometimes I'm kind of an argumentative type of person, so I might, bandy back and forth with someone. So I'm not a shill, but you can, and also they'll cite statistics. They know the whole drill. So it's like if they were just a regular person, they wouldn't have all this information on a specific topic. And they do. It's like their talking points because they are paid to go there. And people just think they're trolls. No, they're not. They're actual tools of propaganda. And I did a video on shills, on internet shills and how to spot them. So you can check that out on my channel if you're interested in more information on that. But that is how internet differs from television, is that you can decide, you know what, I want to listen or watch something about, the shift in energy that we are experiencing right now. And they say we're going to go into fifth dimension consciousness. So I'm going to watch something on the Palladian, messages for this year or whatever. Or you might just want to watch the Rolling Stones in concert, whatever you want to see. And that uplifts you because you think, wow, these people are like amazing musicians and I'm an aspiring musician and this is just like totally psyching me up, rather than sitting there passively and allowing other people to tell you what to think. And another side note related to YouTube versus the boob-tube, YouTube, YouTube, YouTube videos are often very amateurish in their appearance. And that's actually a good thing in my book because too often we get, kind of impressed by the bells and whistles of having some kind of, lovely superficial display. But that's another tool of propaganda, showing these beautiful visuals, and then what is the actual message? So I would rather have a do it yourself video that doesn't have any flash, but has a lot of content because the person making the video has actually lived through something and they're sharing it with us and they're not getting paid, than to have something that's very flashy and quote unquote professional and they're selling us a shit sandwich. I'd rather have the former than the latter. And we get so caught up in the glamour that we forget about what's really being conveyed to us. And I think that's another reason to be very suspicious of television with its high production values. So, I hope that I've given you a few things to think about. And by the way, I've never had cable or satellite TV in my life. And that's another thing that I'm proud of because I knew that it was just going to get me to sink deeper and deeper into watching television. Why would I want that? If you don't want something in your life, don't invest in what you don't want. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty logical, isn't it? Okay, guys. Take care. Bye.